Hi guys, welcome again to another episode of What I Know by me, Nahuja Hatibu, and today I'm joined by Sarah. Last time I was with a fellow Nigerian called Baba Femi, and then I am doing another one with a fellow amazing Nigerian woman called Sarah. And Sarah, we have been chatting forever about us sitting down and having this conversation.
Yeah.
And the reason is that every time we get a chance to talk, because we're so busy here, our schedule is so tight.
Yeah.
And just every time you talk, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was recording this. Oh my God, I wish I was recording this. So now I got a chance to have a sit down with you guys. Sarah, so cool. She is so smart. She's so intelligent. Her career is so she's just doing amazing things back home. She's helping the girl child. She's an author. She just graduated from UK. She just had her master's. Girl, you're doing amazing things. I am so motivated by you, to be honest.
Thank you.
And I'm just so glad to even get a chance to serve this year with you. I just want you to know that.
Same here. I'm happy to meet you and know you.
Oh, thank you,
I'm
Sarah.
doing this program with you.
Yeah, I just I'm really curious on why pads, why girls. Before even we get to who is Sarah, what she does, I'm really curious about. Because I even told Baba Femi yesterday, I was like, every time somebody tells me what they do, I'm so curious why they're doing what they do. So maybe you can also tell me all about you, but I just really curious why this project, why the kids, because even your books, both of your books are focusing on adolescents, are focusing on girl child. Tell me more about that.
Well, for me, why girl? Why young girl is because anytime I see a young girl out there, I see a reflection of me when I was at that age. You know, growing up from a low economic background.
Okay.
There was some struggle which is quite familiar, not just unique to me, which is something familiar to majority of families that are from low socioeconomic backgrounds in Nigeria. So as a young girl then, it was difficult to have access to sanitary supplies.
Okay.
Sanitary supplies were expensive and are still expensive.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It was difficult because I was staying with my dad, and to just go and ask him, I know the struggle he goes through to make ends meet.
So you're not raised by your mom and your dad? Yeah.
Well, at some point they were separated.
Okay.
So I know the struggle he goes through to get money to be able to pay school fees, house rent, and other things. So it's usually difficult to tax him more, asking for sanitary supplies, and that usually affects me.
Okay.
So going to schools at time when you're on your period, it's difficult, and then when you're not comfortable, it's difficult for you to concentrate in class. It's difficult for you to engage with your friends or discuss with them because you have this fear that you get stained and then you get mocked, so you just sit one place, or probably you just don't go to school.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. And then growing up after that phase, when I started working in the development sector, carrying out numerous projects, doing different health initiatives, and I go to schools, I engage with young girls, I realized that the stories still remain the same, even if not worse than it was for me.
Yeah.
So it's so there hasn't been anything done about this. Nothing has been done. Nothing has changed after how many years. And so that really motivated me to look into a sustainable way to address this issue.
That is really cool.
And that's what bets the idea of a reusable pads.
That's really cool. Can you introduce Alora and just tell us a bit about reusable pads? Because one thing that I realized, I have a sister of mine who does almost the same thing back home in Tanzania, and we realized that there are people who doesn't even know there is such thing as reusable pads, and because they've never faced those kind of challenges. And I think you're also getting the same I think feedback where you are here. Do they wash it? Is it clean? So please tell people more about the product, Alora, and just how beneficial it is to the girls back home.
All right, viewers back at home. So this is Alora Reusable Pads. It's reusable pad made from specialized cotton fabrics.
Yeah.
And they are cost effective, environmentally friendly, easy to wash, and quick dry.
Yeah.
So this is chemical free, and this is very cost effective in terms that when you use it, you don't need to be buying disposable monthly.
Yeah.
So it saves you cost as well as you saving the environment, because the disposables that we use are made from plastics.
Yeah.
And plastics are not biodegradable. They end up back in the landfills, in waters, and they contribute to the climate issues that we are having. So moving away from moving away from one-time use to becoming reusable stuff, to use reusable things, helps to sustain our environment. And we need to leave this earth for our children in a good condition. We don't need to destroy it for the next coming generation. So this is a sustainable menstrual supply, and it also addressed the issue of period poverty, because when you give a girl child who is struggling this pack, she's rest assured that she can use this for the next 3 years without having to think about where next to get disposable pads again.
So do your company or your NGO, do they give this for free to the girls?
So Alora Reusable Pads is a product of Alora Essentials Limited, and it's a social enterprise. Okay. So we produce it, and then we have various partnerships with different non-for-profits, indigenous NGOs, bilateral organizations, government organizations, international organizations. So what they do, our business model is we have business to business, business to consumers, and business to government agencies. Okay. So they purchase these products from us, and they use it for their own projects. Okay. Then for us, through our own projects under my non-for-profit, a well-informed adolescent initiative. So whenever we have menstrual health projects at the non-for-profit, we also purchase from Alora Essentials to distribute.
Okay, that is really cool. So I want for you to talk a bit about OUR, which is well-informed adolescents, and like how that initiative is complementing your work with Alora. Yeah.
So a well-informed adolescent initiative, shortly called OUR initiative.
OUR.
Yeah. So that was the first thing I started, and I started that as a fresh graduate.
Okay.
So I didn't.
Which year was that?
That was early 2018.
Okay.
So I didn't go all out to say, I want to start a non-for-profit. So in Nigeria, when you finish your graduate study, like your first degree, there is this mandatory service that we do. So we call it National Youth Service Corps
I've heard that.
Yeah. So
I love what you guys normally wear. So we have the same thing like that in Tanzania called jeshini. It's basically like being a soldier for like a year after high school. So yeah.
So the purpose is to like foster unity among us. We have lots of tribes. So when you finish your study, you will be posted to a different state or region. Like for me, being a Southwest person and studied in Southwest, so I was posted to South region. Okay. In the country, and that was Cross River State. And after the few weeks paramilitary training, you'll be posted to your primary place of assignment where you work for the next couple of months. So I was posted to a rural community. Wow. My primary place of assignment was with an international organization in that state. Okay. The Kuso International. They were carrying out like a youth empowerment project. They are a Canadian organization. So I was posted to a very, very rural community, 6 hours from the state capital. Wow. So getting to that community, after observing the community, after a few weeks, I realized that there were lots of girls who were mothers, like they were young girls, but they were already mothers. Some 13 years old, already having up to 4 children, and they're not going to school. 13? Yeah, so it's more like a competition for the numbers of children. Who is gonna? Oh my god! Then the boys too do not go to school. They engage in lots of vices, and I've been a peer health educator at the university because I wanted to study medicine, but I ended up studying microbiology. But my passion, I told you she's smart. My passion for health is still there. So I've been a peer health educator right from campus. So getting there, I was like, no, this is not right. Like, young girls are supposed to be in school, at least complete secondary school, not having children and a child becoming a mother. Like, so you're having children that are also having children. So it was disheartening, and I spoke with my supervisor then that this is what I want to do, because their work is on, like I said, empowerment. It wasn't health. So they were like, fine, as long as you can give us what we want, our own deliverables, which is to support the farmers. I need to draft a business plan for the farmers, help them to get financial support. So as long as I'm able to do that, and then I want to do whatever I want to do with the young girls, that's fine. So after I got that go ahead, I put in my sexual reproductive health skills or knowledge to use. I started holding town hall meetings with young girls every Friday. So I call them both young girls and young boys. I bring them together at the town hall. I talk to them about the need for them to be well informed.
And you're doing this parallel to you doing your youth service.
Yeah,
the
same youth service I was doing. So, but I just did that like a side gig. You can call it that, like something. It's just so that we just have to do something. So because the farmers I was engaging with were like adults, so I do that, engage with them. What my company asked me to do, I do it. But then on the side, every Friday, I just bring those youths
How old were you
together.
How old were you?
How old was I? Can I remember?
After high school?
No, that was after university.
After university. So how old were you then?
So I should be 2018. Honestly.
2018.
Okay.
I
don't know.
Okay, but you must have been around in your early 20s.
Early 20s. Yes. Thank you very much.
So that
early 20s. Thank you. So I know I was born and brought up in Lagos. There are issues of teenage pregnancy in Lagos as well, but it wasn't as rampant as what I saw over there. So it just made me to do something. So they come together. So I use recreational activities, either dancing, talking to them, showing them movies, or just demonstration to talk to them. So we spoke on the need for young people to even know the changes their bodies are going through in the first place, young people to know about contraceptives, young people to know about menstruation, especially for the girls, and menstrual health. So all those things that, it was something to I think that was part of the reason that so if I want to talk about why I became a peer health educator, there was this, and it still exists, the culture of lack of silence and shyness when it comes to adolescents for the changes that
I really wanted to ask you, like, how you were able to touch base on that sensitive topic in those communities. And I think yesterday I had you having a conversation of some sort of like downstairs with Farida, and I was really intrigued to know, how did you do that? Because even right now, that is a very sensitive topic, which is ridiculous, because we know we're women, we get our periods when we're young, we are supposed to have babies, it's something, but it's still a taboo to talk about that in the community. So tell me a bit about how challenging that was, or how easy it was for you to push that.
For me as a peer health educator, I have learned that for you to have sensitive conversation, you need to ensure that the person you're discussing it feels that they're in a safe space. Okay. So first, you have to create a safe space. You have to reassure them that it's a safe space, and not just reassure them, you have to show it that it's a safe space. You listen to them. So creating that ambience will enable the person relax and be able to talk. But there is need for us to talk about these things, even though they're sensitive, in a safe space. So what I do is it wasn't easy, because young girls in this community, they are shy, so they are always like withdrawn. But what I do is to make them comfortable. So that's why I use recreational activities.
Yes, I like that. You say dances and stuff.
So that
cool.
makes them to calm and comfortable with you, and they open up, and then you can be able to take it from there and gradually talk. So there were so many things, and then using the curriculum. So there is international guidance curriculum from UNESCO and UNFPA that covers various topics that young people should know that are age appropriate. So I use that, and I discuss with them, and there were considerable impacts, because with that I was able to, when necessary, refer some girls who are already sexually active, already mothers, to clinics to get contraceptives and encourage them to go back to school. And that works. Some girls were able to enroll them because we have a center in that community through that organization I was working with, to be able to teach them ICT skills, both the boys and the girls, teach them ICT skills, and they're able to work using that during the long vacation and earn some money and use it to get some form, because like you need to buy form to proceed to maybe higher classes, or you need to get form to write like your final entrance final exam in the high school before you can go to university. And in 2020, by the time I left, even before I left, majority of them are already in the university.
Okay.
So you can imagine that power of transformation, because having that conversation with them frequently, that place became a safe haven. You are always having young people trooping over and over every day, Monday to Friday. They come, they call me, and it's really gave them. I also share my story where I'm coming from, even though like coming from a poor background, like to not allow that to
detect
you. You know, dream beyond your immediate environment.
Absolutely.
Because that helped me growing up. Dreaming beyond my immediate environment helped me. And the power of dreaming really gives you that strength and courage to fight and say no, like things are possible. But if you're defeated, then you can't see beyond your immediate environment. You just won't want to make effort or do anything. So I was able to put that in them as well. And as much as I was catering for their health, I put those things in them, and that really helped. And I'm so proud of them. They've been able to
so
change.
Proud of you.
I'm proud of them for them changing their story around, going back to school. And I still communicate with some of them, and I was able to still replicate that when I got back to the state capital. Because when I started working, I got back to the state capital, I replicated that, and it worked. And for me, I'm a lover and pusher of creating safe space for young people.
I really I'm just so happy for you, and I think that, and the reason I ask you what age were you when you were doing that, it's because we think sometimes, I'm too young to do something, I'm too young to make an impact, I'm too, I think as soon as we're done with college, we're thinking about me. You know, what's gonna be my first job? You know, how much am I gonna be paid? We have this mentality that we're young not to be able to make an impact in our community. So I love your story, because I really think it really resonates with a lot of people. And I think the ones that are just finishing their college right now and they're just starting, guys, just look at at Sarah and see what she was able to do during the time when she was doing her service, and at the same time when she was actually working. Like, I think that was your first real job, right?
Yeah, that was my
and you still got
job.
some time on the side to do that, to make an impact. And it goes a long way later in your career. You have to start this thing early, and I think that's what we're talking about earlier when we came in the room. It was like, it starts somewhere. You have to start somewhere. You cannot just wake up in the morning and say, I want to make this impact and I want results right now. It doesn't work.
So like I said, that was why I said I didn't wake up and say I wanted to start a non-for-profit. So it was my passion. So seeing a problem first, solving that problem. And when I kept doing it, then there was a need for me to become structured. There was a need. Then it started becoming bigger on its own.
But you see, you're
beyond me.
The beautiful part about you is that you experienced that. You were in their shoes at some point,
that helped us,
and you decided that will not define me. At least I will not let other girls go through what I went through, and you use that as your superpower, and you're doing an amazing job, love. Please applaud yourself. We don't do that more often. We don't stop and say, oh my God, I touched these lives. And sometimes even if you touch one girl's life, because that one girl could be the future Sarah, and then she goes ahead and does the same thing to others. And even for me, I don't want to share my personal story because this is all about you, but I have somebody who touched me, in a way that now I feel obligated to do that to other people because they took time on me. So I think that ripple effect, it will continue to be seen years and years to come. So just be so proud of yourself, love. You're doing amazing stuff. I want to ask you like 2 or 3 questions. So what has been your expected learning things that you never thought you would learn, or things that you never thought you would experience in your journey in starting an NGO, starting a company as an entrepreneur, and you're like, oh, I thought things are gonna be this way, but it's this way. The reason why I'm asking that is every time I talk to an entrepreneur, we tend to be the people who go in with our heart, and we think that the road is going to be so clear for us, and sometimes even the struggle that we think we're going to encounter end up not even being the ones that we're going to encounter. We end up getting a total different experience. So what has been an unexpected experience for you since you started your NGO and helping the girls, before we get to your book, by the way, which is awesome?
Okay, so I think like I said, I did not just put it, so I do not have much expectations. I just do it and flow with whatever comes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that helped.
Yeah.
Because if you have expectations, you get disappointed.
You get it.
So, and that would be difficult to get back on. So I just live in the moment and do it, taking one day at a time. But the challenges that came that I didn't expect were in terms of one of them is for me regulatory. It was hard because it's a niche product in West Africa. So for my country, the regulatory part of it was a bit difficult, but I was able to surmount that. Another part for me was resources. For every young businesses or young people trying to do something, we don't have some money stuck up somewhere, because no matter what you want to do something, anything you want to do requires resources. Yeah, even the gospel requires resources. So
that's what we were told even yesterday. Well, you cannot go around saying, I want to do, why have you not done this? Why have you not done this? When the resources are not there.
So resources is very important. And like I said, being a young person, you don't have any resources stuck up somewhere. You're trying to survive while also trying to solve some problem in the community. So it's kind of hard. So you just have to find way to access resources, either through support in terms of grants or in terms of loan and stuff like that, and then with other criteria that are attached to it, and that makes it hard. So navigating that as well can be difficult. Another thing is I've been able to have amazing team that I work with, because
that's good.
Like I said, I've been able to do other things while having these initiatives.
Yes.
So I have amazing team. But that's also some challenges, that in terms of when you are meeting with some people, or you're just bringing them on, bonding them to the team, and they're trying to take a grasp of the whole vision, what it's all about. It might be a bit difficult for them to adjust in the moment, and if you do not get the right people, they might do not buy into
that's a discussion for another day. Yes.
So it might be difficult. So those are some other kind of challenges that came on the way, but through it all, it's been amazing. There are times though, when the challenges come and they are overwhelming, and then I ask myself, who sent me? Who asked me?
We talked about it the other day. We're maybe we just get a job. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you're like, if I was employed, I would not be having these challenges.
Because you are the chief visionary, the marketer, the recruiter.
You wear so many hats.
Everything to get there.
I know.
But when you meet one person that's been impacted by what you do, and you hear that story, you hear how a bit of what you've done has been able to contribute to everything about them, and able to make them stay in school, able to make them learn, concentrate, and then they become what they want to become. Just okay, I think it's worth it.
It's worth it, and I think that's the reward of being an entrepreneur, especially the ones that when we're doing things is for the people, is for the community. But if you're doing it for yourself, sometimes quitting is so easy, and I think it's for every entrepreneur or every business person who's starting something. And I think we were talking about it yesterday, how the rate of business closing even here in States is really, really high. So yes, we get those days where we're like, who sent me? I'm gonna be telling myself that, like, who asked me? So I want to just touch a bit again on the subject before you show us a book. What role do you want, or you think already men are playing in the menstrual health issues back home in your country, and what do you think they should play? Because I'm sure some Nigerian men will see this, African men needs to see this. What is the importance of men being able to be, included?
Yeah, it's very important. Not just in menstrual health, anything in gender or in terms of we talking about women's empowerment.
Yes.
We need men engagement.
Yes.
They have to be our ally, because we can't do this without them. We live in this world with them, so we need them as allies to engage them. There have been instances where when you go to schools, young girls complain that they're being mocked by boys. Why? Because of their stained clothes. It's because of lack of awareness or information on this for the boys, for the young boys, so they think it's something to be mocked.
Yes.
Meanwhile, if they are aware, they have the knowledge, they know what menstruation is, then they wouldn't. So that's why part of the thing we do, both at the social enterprise level and as my non-for-profits, we engage boys, we engage men.
That's good. Do you have some guys in your team?
Yes, we have a guy.
Okay.
We have male as volunteers, yes, and then we have a guy on our staff.
Okay, that's really cool. Tell me more about your books per se. So one is on Amazon right now, guys. I'll put a link below on this video.
They're both on Amazon actually.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Awesome. No, I think because we launched this like 3 days ago. So tell us more about the books.
Okay, so I first wrote this. This is the second edition.
Okay.
So my first book for young girls is called My Periods, and it focuses on like frequently asked questions that girls and boys have about menstruation. So it's like this just resources that you can get and then it covers like all those questions are not true, or all those information are not true. Like, do you know that young girls usually say, oh, boys tell them because they're having cramps they should have sex, then the cramps will go.
What?
Yeah, so
where?
Yeah. But you heard when you were growing up, didn't you?
No.
Really?
No.
So
that what? When you have sex, you were
for cramps, painful cramps.
I was told when I give birth.
Oh, it will stop.
Yes.
Okay.
I was told if I give birth, it will stop.
So you thinking about let me go and get pregnant then? So to make it stop?
No. That did not cross my mind.
Okay.
But yeah, that is really interesting.
So we have like guys or older men who use that to, deceive some young girls, and make them engage in early sexual debates. So that is why this resource is so important, also for boys to learn about what menstruation is. And this one, it covers both.
It's so nice by this book.
Yeah.
It has
using illustrations.
Beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
Girl, how long did it take for you to write this?
Oh my god.
The quality is good. It's a beautiful.
So I use storytelling skills and just created some stories from the safe space that I run, and use it to like bring up topics that adolescents need to know for them to be able to be informed as they are going through the phase, because so many changes happens in their body. No one to talk to, no one to tell them, okay, it's fine, you're going through mood swings, you're having pimples on your face, your body is changing, your hips is enhancing, your voice is breaking, you're having wet dreams for the boys, and then there will be onsets of menstruation. So all these things, this book helps to talk to them.
This is a beautiful, and I love that you included boys in this book, and not just girls.
So it's for boys and girls.
Oh my god, this is so good. I love it. I wish somebody can translate it to Swahili. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it, and then we can take it back home. Finally, we're here, Washington, Mandela Washington Fellowship, and I know it's been overwhelming.
Oh man.
All of us. It's been so overwhelming. I think it's been so overwhelming because, of course, we have 6 weeks to be here. So they're trying to expose us to so much. But so far, it's been, 4 weeks going to the 5th week. What's your experience so far? And, like in terms of leadership, in terms of a medical practitioner, in terms of a woman who is, advocating a lot of social issues back home, how has this, this fellowship changed you so far?
The fellowship has been interesting.
Yes.
Quite interesting, although very hectic, but it's been very interesting. Meeting fellows from other African countries is one of the highlights for me, because learning about other African countries, So also I've learned about other things, learn about other businesses, like it's widening my horizon from things I've known to be like the sites we've visited. So these are interesting, and also the importance of politics. Like no matter what, either health, either agriculture, anything you're doing, that's just my take home. Politics is important because we want to ensure Africa grow, Africa of our dream, Africa we want and everything. But politics is important and it matters. So that's my take home in all of this. Like I usually say I don't want to be a politician, but then I just realized we really need to get the good heads there. We cannot be led by those who don't have good heads. Like we really need to. So that's just my take home. Like everything I've seen so far, it just be like, oh yeah. Even though the people have role to play, the followers as well have their role to play, like in demanding for accountability, in looking beyond the immediate stuff, gratification, corruption, and going away from that. But we just need to be involved.
We do need to be involved, and I think I share that sentiment with you, that I think we have learned the hard way that if we are not part of the change and we're not speaking up, change will never happen. And I was talking to Baba yesterday, I was saying, okay, government are involved, but involvement of government back home is like you're launching a book and you will ask maybe a senator to come and take a picture, but we want the day-to-day involvement. How are you making policies? How are you coming up with laws that will help me help my community? And it's such a conversation that needs to continue when we go back home. And the beautiful part of it is that when I met Farida and she said, you guys you already have your own organization for Mandela Washington in Nigeria, and you're like 600 fellows already there for the last 10 years, I've realized that there's an army back home, even back home in Tanzania, and we need to come together and say this experience has really, opened our eyes to see that we can make the changes and we can be part of pushing those policies and everything in every sector that each one of us play in. So I'm really looking forward to just be able to go back home and just have those conversations and making sure that we are all on the same page in terms of like we are moving forward, and this 6 weeks is not going to be in vain for all of us. Yes, but like I like also what you said, that man, meeting other countries and being able to, you talk to Abubakar and like, oh yeah, that's happened to our country too, or you talk to Sel and you're like, that's happened to your country too. So it's so it kind of looks like as an Africa, even though we have borders, we're facing a lot of challenges that are similar issues and stuff like that. So I know you can, as a pad queen, but this is called pad queen back home. So as a pad queen, you can still come to Tanzania and make an impact, because you understand the environment back in Nigeria. It's probably the same. Sometimes we watch Nigerian movies and we're like, that looks like my village. Like they all look the same. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having me, for inviting me, for making me to talk about what I do.
Yes, yes. I'm so proud of you, Sarah. Please don't stop. I know sometimes, yes, it becomes so hard, but yeah, I like what you're saying. When you see the impact that you've had in your community and those girls and the ripple effect, it really brings some closure to you and that smile on your face. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're the best. And good luck with everything that you're going to do.
Much. Thank you.